Let the rain fall on this great nation. Catch it in the reservoir we built. Leave the door open, let it run down to the shore. Don't nobody farm here anymore. The Aussie dollar's gone through the ceiling. Export prices falling through the floor. Those bureaucrats have lifted bloody rates again. Don't nobody care here anymore. So who gives a stuff about the farmers? Who cares about our rural towns? Who wants meat and milk on their table?
Whatever we need to do to catch up with the rest.
Buy it from a foreign land. Brumby wants our water for the sea.
Trucks and all sorts of cars have been coming down.
Flush it down their toilet water. We've got to stop the pipeline, don't let us work in vain. It ain't the North's fault that it won't rain. So who gives a stuff about the farmer? Who cares about our rural towns? Who wants meat and milk on their table? No worries, buy it from a foreign land. Soon we'll be one
pristine forests in the Great National Park and the Tulangi State Forest will be decimated by this, not to mention 187 waterways crossings. What happened to the environmental effects statement? And what about the greenhouse gases, Mr Brumby? Victorians are concerned with their carbon footprint, yet you are happy to turn out millions. As time progresses, Mr Brumby, the whole of the state is waking up to the realisation that this pipeline creates no winners. The tide is turning. You might think you can buy votes by dropping a giant hose into suburbia. You are not going to get this pipeline in the ground.
Victorian Farmers Federation, the largest farm lobby group in Australia, is totally opposed to North-South Pipe. Now, I'm telling you that because we will not be verbalised in Parliament by the Premier, and we will not be put in Hansard to say that we support the North-South Pipe, as has the Premier done and other ministers in the past. We have always opposed the pipe, and we'll continue to do so. We certainly support the infrastructure investment, and we support the savings that that generates to stay in the region, for the region and for food production. It's very important we get urban Melbourne to support our cause. I told you we've got the fractures, the Liberal Party, the National Party, and many members of the Labor Party are now reconsidering this option of the North-South Pipe. And can I also say to Mr Brumby, we are not liars. We are called liars today because we're actually confronting the government on the savings that they believe can be generated out of this project. The savings will be generated first and foremost by the metering and secondly by reconfiguration. That means taking out delivery systems. That's easy. Anyone can make those savings. Those savings are there now. But we dispute the savings that will be generated out of the investment and also the 75 billion litres of water per year that will go to Melbourne to flush toilets.
Come and talk to Country Victoria, Mr Brumby. We exist too, we have rights too, rights beyond the tram tracks. No presents, Your Honour. Well, if he won't come and talk to us, we better ask somebody else to come and talk to us. The leader of the Liberal Party, are you prepared to come and talk to the people of Country Victoria?
Country Victoria has come to Melbourne to sell this message to Melbourne. And Melburnians back you. 12 months ago, just shy of 12 months ago, John Brumby snuck into Shepparton.
Yes!
And he snuck into Shepparton and he said, we will not be piping water from the north to Melbourne. He said he would not be breaking their election commitment. He said Melbourne had other options. That's what he told the region just under 12 months ago. Melbourne's water storages are at 30%.
They need more.
The Eildon reserves are at 13%.
Yes. Yes.
It makes no sense to steal from the 13 to top up the 30. That's nonsense. This pipe is a breach of a 50-year bipartisan commitment. It's a breach of an explicit promise from the Labor Party at the last election. It defies common sense. It's being questioned by the Auditor General. It's being questioned by the CSIRO. It's being questioned by the government's own figures. It's being questioned by Labor Party apparatchiks. This pipeline's a breach of so many commitments. It's a breach of common sense. It's a dumb idea, and it should be plugged. But no one in country Victoria should have a gun put at their head and say, you can't have that unless you let us steal the water for our own panic interests. Now, I said before, the people of Melbourne are increasingly understanding what's wrong here. They are starting to get the message, and the families of Melbourne are feeling for the families of country Victoria. The savings, false. But even if they were right, and they're not right, this pipe, at huge cost to families, to the economy, to taxpayers, would deliver barely 60 days of water for Melbourne and steal a lifetime of water from the country. This pipe should be plugged. Hang in there and bring those buses in and sell this message to Melburnians and to this government, which has so arrogantly introduced this proposal. Well done, and one and all, plug the pipe.
But the issue here is even worse. It's terrible because the current generations are going to be robbed of the water that they should have to enable them to be able to do what they do so well. But worse still, the future generations are going to have it taken from them as well. And here's another one coming from where? Oh, the sides of the pipe. Here's the pipe being driven past right now. Have a look at this. The worst feature of this, the worst feature, is that future generations are going to be robbed of their water. Taking water away from irrigators is like taking away their oxygen. And you know what happens when that happens, ladies and gentlemen? What happens is what is in this box. Country communities die. People are unable to do what they do so well. Melburnians understand this is folly. Melburnians understand it is intrinsically terrible policy to steal water from a system that can't supply its own needs, send it to Melbourne to be flushed down Melbourne's toilets. Melburnians increasingly understand that is dreadful policy, and that's why they also, like all of us, ladies and gentlemen, want to plug the pipe, plug that pipe, plug the pipe, plug the pipe, plug that pipe. So I say to you, Mr Brumby, if you haven't got the courage to get out here, if you haven't got the courage to come and face these people, well, at least send you-know-who, Mr Holding. That old pipe hugger, Mr Holding. Mr Holding, whose pipes are calling from town to town and across the Great Divide. That's Mr Holding for you, ladies and gentlemen. And I say to you, he would not know what way is up. He simply would not know.
They're still coming, Mr Brumby, they're still coming. There's more people that have been coming now. What's the time? Close to 2 o'clock? I arrived here about 11. They've been coming for 3 hours, and they're still fighting their way through Melbourne traffic to come and give a message to you, Brumby. And what is that message? Plug the pipe, Brumby! Plug the pipe, Brumby!